when people come and visit you, they come in town, what are the things that you tell them they have to do in Chicago? Or maybe more apt for this, where are the places that you tell them they have to eat?
All right. Well, I'm gonna take a step back and just do general Chicago things because I think we need to like do a Chicago shout out as well. But if you're coming here, you have to go eat, and that is part of it. So for me, number one, you're coming to Chicago, you got to go to a sporting event. So if it's the summer, you go to Wrigley Field and you go to a Cubs game, and you have to experience that ballpark and its magic. And if it's winter, I tell people to go to a Bulls game. That was like my childhood in Chicago. And even though the Bulls have been very lackluster for a long time, there's always like an energy and that vibe in that stadium that is just super fun. And you get to feel like you're a part of that piece of like Chicago culture and Chicago history. Number two for me, and this is kind of like my safe space in Chicago as well, but is you got to get out on the lakefront path, even if it's cold. Like, so I'm a runner. I've been to both ends of that path, but I think like the beach, the views of the skyline, you can bike, you can walk, you can run, but just I think it's like the best way to see the city. And then you have to eat. So for me, that kind of takes two turns. One is if you're coming to Chicago and you've never been here before, I think you have to go to a Chicago steakhouse. And I kind of pick which way you want to go based on you want to go like old school, classic, like back in the day, or do you want to do new school and like the modern? So like, you can do Esser or Bastion and Maple and Ash, or you can just go to like Gibson's, or like I personally Bavette's is my favorite. I think it kind of sits in the middle of those two. You get the old school vibes, but it's a newer place. And then I think like for me, when I go to a city, fine dining is a big part of it, and I think Chicago is
Mhm.
one of the best fine dining scenes in the world. Obviously, you should come to Class Act. It's great. It's great for solo diners. It's great for groups. But after you come to Class Act, I live literally, Oriole is in my alley. So Oriole is like my go-to fine dining for when people come to town. And then if you can get into Kasama,
Oh gosh, yeah.
that's another favorite. And usually you can't get in for dinner, but you can always go in the morning and get a breakfast sandwich and a pastry.
Nicolai, what about you?
All right, so I'll add two non-food things. One, the architecture tour on the boat, if it's not like cold. I don't like touristy things in general wherever I go, but this is like one of those where I'm like, no, this one's actually worth it. Like, get on that boat, learn about the amazing architecture, enjoy the view, the wind, like just being on the water. It's amazing. And then the museums here. People, I don't know why people sleep on the museums in Chicago if they're not from Chicago, but like we have such a kick-ass museum scene here. Like, go to the Art Institute, go to the Field Museum, go to any of them. Like they're all cool, or go to all of them. Like whatever. Shout out to Chicago's museums. Um, then restaurant wise, I'll try not to overlap with Shreena. I do think you need to have a deep dish. My family's preference is lose. I do think you need to have a hot dog. People might get mad at me for this, but I think a lot of them are pretty similar. So just like grab one and enjoy it for what it is. Maybe even pop in and get an Italian beef. Not because you can't have it anywhere else, but just because they are delicious as well. And then I love Oriole. I think Smith is doing very innovative stuff. Trying to think. I love Kumiko. I love the vibe there. I love the drinks there, but also her new tasting menu is just very like it feels self-actualized. It feels like there's soul in the food. Like you can really tell like who the chef is back there from the food you eat. And it's just calming. Like when I've had a terrible week, catch me there. I just sit there and have a drink and I don't talk and like my troubles melt away. Beatty in West Loop is amazing for
Oh
Lebanese fine
yeah.
dining. All the Perilla spots, so Perilla Fair, amazing. Korean barbecue, Perilla steak, amazing. Like new school take to Shrina's point on a steakhouse, but with like a Korean twist. Also, Rabastian is amazing. Noriko is amazing. Man, I got so many shout outs to give. No, but like genuinely, these places aren't just places run by my friends. They're places that like you can catch me at regularly. Um, yeah, it's just I love Chicago's food scene so much. It's very good.
It's very good, and I would also say one of my favorite things about it is that it's very accessible. Like it feels like, and I don't know if it's because I was living in New York at a different time in my life. But it feels different than New York in that way, that there's so much. There's like so much. It's completely accessible. There's so many places to go. There's so many things to try. It's high low. Like it's just amazing. And I don't know. I felt really lucky to live here as a result. So
Also, on the breakfast sandwich front, go to Sarima and get a breakfast sandwich. Kasama's breakfast sandwich I love to death. Sarima's is probably the only other breakfast sandwich I've had that has like matched it.
thank you for listening to Notes from Chicago. This podcast is edited and produced by Tanisha Blakely. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Notes from Chicago on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts.